Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're taking a deep dive into the anatomy of a haunting. We're going to break down the chilling Hindi horror story of Vadhu and see exactly how a wedding night celebration spirals into a terrifying and calculated plot of supernatural revenge. Right from the start, the story just throws us into the deep end of terror. You hear these words, and you know, these are not the words of a happy bride. Nope, this is a chilling declaration of war. And it's coming from the newlywed Purnera, whose body is now just a vessel for something wilder and way more vengeful. It's a flat-out promise of bloodshed, and we're about to find out why. Now, the voice speaking through Purna isn't just some random spirit, and to really get a handle on its power, we have to look at this sacred village ritual, a ceremony that's supposed to shield every new bride from a very specific, known malevolent entity. For generations, this tradition has been their one and only protection. Okay, so this protection relies on a really strict set of rules. The bride, in this case Prerna, has to perform a lamp ceremony and make an offering to her new family's ancestors. But the most critical piece of the puzzle involves the entire community. Every single house, no exceptions, has to keep a lamp burning outside. It's like a collective spiritual shield, and as long as everybody follows the rules, she should be totally safe. And you guessed it, this is where it all goes horribly wrong. Just as Prerna is beginning the ceremony, this mysterious figure, cloaked in black, deliberately puts out one of the village lamps. And at that exact same moment, the sacred flame in Prerna's own arti plate just flickers and dies. The protective barrier is gone. The fallout from this single broken rule is immediate, and honestly, it's absolutely horrifying. With the village's spiritual defenses completely down, the entity that haunts the area doesn't waste a single second. It sees its opening, and it takes it. Prerna's transformation is terrifyingly complete. She violently shoves her new husband, Samir, sending him flying. Her eyes turn blood red, her face a ghostly white. She is no longer the bride, she's a puppet filled with a rage that isn't hers. And she's staring at her new family with pure, unfiltered hatred. The next morning, the horror gets psychological. So as a new bride, Prerna has this ceremonial duty to cook for the family for the first time. She's supposed to make a sweet dish. But when the family lifts the lid to eat, they find their favorite dessert is just completely swimming in fresh, dripping blood. And as the family is recoiling and screaming in terror, the thing inside Purna launches its first physical attack. It grabs her new mother-in-law, Asha, and with this sickening, unnatural strength, it just snaps her neck. One quick, brutal motion. The revenge has officially begun. So the family is panicking. They're desperate. They try to use sacred sindoor, this protective powder from the temple, but it does nothing. It has no effect. The spirit is just too powerful. And as it continues its rampage, it finally reveals who it is. And with that, the dark, buried secret that's fueling all of this rage. The spirit screams a name the family thought they had silenced and buried forever. Ganga. See, this isn't some random village demon. This is personal. This is a ghost with a very, very specific kill list. So the motive for all this bloodshed is rooted in a truly tragic history. Ganga was the family maid's daughter, and she was secretly in love with Samir. When she got pregnant, the family, terrified of a public scandal, faked a marriage to shut her up, all while secretly plotting her murder. And then, at 8 months pregnant, they pushed her down the stairs, ending her life and the life of her unborn child. So this is the heart of it, right? This mind-blowing hypocrisy. Publicly, this family was obsessed with their honor, their reputation in the village. But privately, behind closed doors, they were cold-blooded murderers, willing to kill a pregnant woman, their own future daughter-in-law, and their own grandchild, just to protect that perfect public image. But you have to wonder, how did Ganga's spirit even get this opportunity? Well, as it turns out, she wasn't acting alone. Behind this entire supernatural assault was a hidden mastermind, pulling the strings and orchestrating the whole revenge plot from the shadows. So how did this happen, right? How did a time-honored, sacred ritual fail so spectacularly? The answer lies with the one person whose grief was just as powerful as Ganga's rage, her mother, Rekha. Turns out, she had secretly overheard the family confessing to murdering her daughter. This was no random haunting. This was a meticulously planned operation. After her daughter was murdered, Rekha threw herself into learning black magic. She was the cloaked figure who snuffed out that village lamp, and it was her who accidentally bumped into Samir's brother and swapped the sacred Sindor from the temple with a useless fake. She made sure every single spiritual safeguard would fail. So, with every protection neutralized and the family's horrific secret out in the open, Ganga's spirit, guided by her mother's curse, is finally free to carry out its brutal, final judgment on the people who murdered her. The first victim is Asha, the mother-in-law. She was the one who physically pushed a pregnant Ganga down those stairs. So her fate is a direct, brutal payback for her crime. The spirit makes sure she pays for that first act of violence. Next up is Vinod, the brother-in-law. He wasn't just some innocent bystander. He was an active accomplice who helped carry out the plan and cover up the murder. For his part in that brutal act, he has shown zero mercy. And finally, the spirit turns to Samir, the man who betrayed Ganga, denied his own child, and just stood by while his family murdered the woman who loved him. He is the last one to face her wrath. After taking the lives of the 3 people directly responsible for her and her unborn child's death, Ganga's mission is finally complete. Her spirit leaves Prerna's body. Its earthly purpose is fulfilled. The rage is gone, and she is, at long last, free. And that leaves us with a really chilling final thought. The story kind of forces us to ask ourselves, when the systems of human justice fail this completely, when the guilty just walk free, are some hauntings just evil? Or are they a different, more terrifying kind of justice, one delivered from beyond the grave?